Welcome to the UiPath Integration Service video series. Our goal is to show you how to use UiPath Integration Service with the UiPath platform to automate more complex processes involving multiple environments and enterprise applications reliably. In this series, we'll use typical RPA features and API automation capabilities to automate a typical onboarding process. We'll use enterprise applications like SuccessFactors, OneDrive, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and Slack. You'll learn how to create a connection, manage connections, configure and leverage API triggers in automation projects. Our use case involves streamlining the new hire onboarding process using automation and integration between different HR and IT systems. The process starts with an HR admin generating a list of new hires and saving it locally in SuccessFactors. Then a support admin picks it up and creates Salesforce accounts by uploading the file to OneDrive. After onboarding, users receive confirmation. Any errors are reported to ServiceNow for further investigation by IT support. We can streamline this process with automation, and yes, it can be fully automated with the integration service. Now, before we proceed, please ensure that you have access to SuccessFactors, OneDrive, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and Slack. However, if you don't have access to these systems, you can still watch the videos and apply the concepts to your use cases. Let's navigate to SuccessFactors to understand the process in detail. Within the Candidates tab, we can view a list of candidates at different stages in the human resources talent pipeline. Next, the automation will extract only candidates with onboarding and ready for hire statuses. Once the accounts are provisioned for the users or a ticket's been raised for the errors, we'll create and send a Slack message containing the results of the operation. Before diving into the building process, let's review the process that we've already built and configured to get a high-level understanding of how different systems work together. Later videos will provide detailed information about the configuration. The first step involves extracting data from SuccessFactors. We used the Get Robot Credentials and Asset Activities in Orchestrator to obtain the necessary credentials. With the connection established, we used the Search Results activity to find candidates who met the specific job requirements. This will create an Excel file at a specific location on the user's desktop. Let's run it. And we can see the Excel file with new hire details extracted from SuccessFactors. Great, moving on. The second process begins when the extracted Excel file is uploaded to OneDrive. We have two validations in place here. The first step is to determine whether the process was triggered by an integration service connector. The second uses a switch activity to determine whether the triggering connector was Microsoft OneDrive. If it was, the automation would continue to run. If not, a log message will be saved, indicating that the process was triggered by an unknown source. We used the OneDrive connection from the integration service to connect to OneDrive and automate the file upload process. Let's go to the integration service and look at the connections established for this process. We've already created connections for Microsoft OneDrive, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and Slack. This allowed us to seamlessly integrate these systems into our workflow. Once the process is configured and published, we can create a trigger. We've already created the trigger for OneDrive to start the process as soon as a file is placed at the OneDrive location. And here are some conditions. If the parent ID contains new hire onboarding and the full name is onboarding. Here, parent ID refers to the folder where we'll upload the file, and full name is the name of the file. If all of the conditions are met, the process will be triggered to process the extracted data using an unattended robot. Let's return to the Studio project. Once the process is triggered, it gets the ID of the file, downloads the file, reads the Excel file, and stores the data in a data table. In the final phase of this process, we use the Insert Record activity to create the user accounts in Salesforce. For each row in the employees data table where the onboarding column is set to true, we insert the record into Salesforce. To do this, we select the appropriate connections in the activity settings, specifying all of the required parameters. This ensures that a user account is created for each employee who needs to be on board. If an error occurs while creating accounts, we have a workflow to raise a ticket by creating a new incident in ServiceNow. Once the incident is created, we have activities to post messages on the Slack channel. Now we have the file here with extracted data from the first process run. Let's upload the file on OneDrive at a specific location and see how it triggers the processing of the data. And we can see that the process was successfully launched. Let's access the job logs, where we can see that the process ran successfully. To confirm if the process ran successfully, let's check if the Salesforce user has the same names as the ones extracted from SuccessFactors in the Excel sheet. And yes, they are. Also, the second user account isn't created as the onboarding column is set to false. And we've received a Slack message confirming this. And also, we can see the service ticket in the ServiceNow, which means that our process ran successfully. Great! We've now reached the end of this demo. With this demo, we've learned about the use case, saw the project already built for it, and saw how the components work together at a high level. Stay tuned for more videos on how we configured the automation project using connections, connectors, and triggers.